All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tellor Dev Call, January 17th. Um, yeah, fun stuff. Um, Lots of cool things going on, I guess. I will be posting a new deep dive today. I'm in the process of uploading it right now. So you guys have to shill that. I did with Umbra.cash. So it's a privacy solution on Ethereum. It'll be super cool. Another thing I'm going to be hopefully this week doing the the Euler request for comment. So I'm helping them work on that. I had another call with them. They're working on creating like a standard interface for their Oracle. Um, so you can plug and play oracles, and we've had sort of extensive work done on that as well, talking with other oracles. So it's something that we're kind of the experts at. So we're happy to help them with that. So but yeah, I'll just kind of talk with you guys about what you're working on. Owen, how's things going?
Going well. Yeah, I have some docs things to finish up, but possibly look at parody stuff that needs to be done. Would be cool.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably be kicking it off actually developing on it next week. But if you want to do some, Owen's going to be our parody guy. It looks like we're going to help parody build their Oracle solution out. So he's going to be our. I he may have to learn some Rust. So we'll see. We actually don't know the full scope of the work. It could just be depending on what they do versus we do. We might just be editing our Solidity contracts, which would be probably take you a day. um, so hopefully it's easy though. Hopefully, we never almost every time we ever go somewhere that's a non-EVM chain, it's always a ridiculous amount of work. So hopefully this is different for sure. Um, cool. Tim?
Yeah, so I'm working on some forking tests. Um,
Okay. And then
and then also just some reviewing of the latest Diva updates.
oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, canceled those meetings if you saw the messages. So no meeting today.
right.
Cool.
So it sounds like that should be the last updates for us until their audit. Um,
Yeah. We'll see.
yeah.
And did you ever go over Zodiac stuff with Tally? Or
Yeah, we've been in contact.
okay.
I think both of us, it seems, haven't quite figured out what's going on in it. I guess maybe we should reach out to Quentin for a
Please
little
do.
guidance.
I have a call
Yeah.
with the team that
Okay.
needs that tomorrow morning, so I'll be
Got it. Okay. Okay.
definitely get it
Talk
squared
to
away.
him.
So,
Okay.
all right. Akram.
I'm trying to build out the Cadena reporter to be used in Telliot. I don't know if it should be part of it, going through all that, or maybe a separate repo or a fork of Telliot feeds. Because it's most of the stuff on Telliot feeds is incorporated with like Web3 Pi, is dependent on Web3.pi and chained accounts, and Cadena is not compatible with that stuff. So I could do it like in a hacky way or do it a separate repo, trying to figure that out. Or maybe I don't even know if we should spend time on it.
Yeah, I mean, you should just be able to at some point upload a private key, right? You could just have it as part of the config
Yeah,
and just
it's possible. Yeah, I mean, and then be scripts inside the files that could decode the private key to the public key versus the 0x that
yeah.
Web3 just several. That's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, try not to rewrite too much of Telliot for Cadena. Try and have
No,
it sort of be
I won't touch any of Telly. I would just do it in a hacky way in a script, kind of.
perfect. Love it. Um, all right. Ryan?
Um, Still stuck on the data feed, couple issues there, but once that's done, I gotta refilm the funded fee tutorial video and want to get that out. And then I think we're going to we're gonna do a workshop on the one-stop doc. I don't know if that's gonna be today, but I want to get that ready for the Denver. So that thing is updated.
Cool. No, that's super good. I guess. Yeah, no, that's exciting. Okay. And then yeah, Tally.
Hey, I talked with Tim first, and then I did some research of my own on the Snapchat module. It works, but the front end is outdated, or the front end stopped being compatible with the contract. So
the contracts do work.
The contracts work, and they actually do work with our version of Tellor.
Okay, perfect.
But the front end is missing a constructor argument, and so you can't deploy through the front end. Although there's a hacky way you can do it with the front end, but that's harder to explain right now.
Go make a PR, Tally.
I went and looked, but this repo on their front end is not public on GitHub. Although I did make a post on Ethereum Stack Exchange because that's what they ask people to do.
It's not. What do you mean it's not public? Is this Snapshot or this is Zodiac, right?
It's with Zodiac a company.
No, it's
it's Gnosis, right?
It's Gnosis. It's like
Gnosis.
it's
Yeah,
like
I looked on
Gnosis
Gnosis
DAO.
I looked on Gnosis GitHub and searched Tellor, and nothing came up.
I think Zodiac's made by Gnosis DAO, which is separate from.
Yeah.
like a-
So we have. I think. Do we have a chat, Mike? I
It's
think so.
straightforward.
Yeah, we have a Snapshot chat. I'll add you, Tally.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Ryan's in it. So okay. Yeah, there's some Gnosis and Snapshot people there.
Oh, cool.
But I know it should be open source because, like, I know for a fact Quentin has made pull requests. So
But we can reach out to them and see where.
yeah, tell him to send you where he did it, because it was. I know I've reviewed quite a few on the front end, so it's not all that difficult. It's a simple React app.
Sure.
So.
The other thing is that, well, that's the majority of what I'm going to do today. The other thing was more planned for this week, which is to spin up the DVM to watch the Oracle address. If you guys think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that would be a great idea.
Yes.
So, and then Spuddy.
Yeah, I'm going to be publishing 2 blog posts hopefully today. One on how to install Telliot, and it's kind of like a noob-friendly guide to installing Telliot. And then another one that's going to be running Telliot, like suggested configurations for different things that people might want to do with the client. That's it.
Perfect. Mike, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I got to schedule what we're planning to do with the Gnosis Builders community. Follow up with them on the meetings we had last week, because we're trying to do an AMA Twitter space sometime either this week or early next week. So I want to get that scheduled, and that way they can start advertising that to their community. And now that we've done the bulk of the changes with the docs, I'm going to go through the website and do an initial review of changes to make to the website. And then I'll probably schedule something with you, Ryan and Spuddy, maybe to go through it together and just do a sweep through and make sure. I'm sure there's a couple links that are broken and wording that we want to change based off of things that we've done in the docs over the last couple of weeks. So, and
Cool.
And yeah, I should be getting Brenda, I'll probably send you over when I get a quote about branding, and we can sort of decide what we want to do in terms of not branding, but from the Anthem branding company about swag for ETH Denver, to sort of get that decided on. And Brenda, you and I need to book some flights.
Oh yes, we do.
Yeah.
And for me, guys, now that we're done basically with the first round of the work groups, I want to make sure that between now and I want to give it maybe next Monday, you guys can finish up all the deliverables that we have on those for those work groups. They're all listed on each of their Word document where we kept everything, or their Google Doc. So Spotty, I know those videos or those Medium articles are part of that. So I want to make sure that every deliverable has like a thing that says we did it and maybe a link to it, so that way we can like sort of keep track of it. And then so next week we'll do like a very I'm thinking it's going to be a mini meeting to sort of sunset for the month, where we just go through all the deliverables, make sure they got done, and then think about whatever we want to make sure that we get done the next month. So between now and then, finish your homework, guys, and then we'll make sure that we close those up next week. Oh, and I will schedule something this week to test the Docker installation, because that's the last thing that we didn't test. And so yeah, it'll be like maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And then next week we wrap up. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Ryan, any questions?
Not in any traditional channels, but I did see that discussion in the developer challenge. I thought might be interesting if we want to go over that.
Yeah, we can answer one. What was it?
So he asked, Mario.eth
yeah.
asked, is there a way to restrict who can submit value for a specific unique feed? For example, the use case I'm looking at is only certain wallets will submit values, some sort of validators, if we can say, as I don't want anyone to submit values for my feed, was his first question.
Yep. Yeah. So this was, you could definitely do this. So like we even have plans to like sort of build out a framework for supporting this. And in that, for instance, as an example, like if you have an app and you want people to stake your own token, so you want an additional staking requirement, you could say like, okay, you have to stake, $500,000 worth of our token in our smart contract, and then you have a whitelisted set of validators. What you would do is basically you would get the data before, so like do using Tellor in the normal way, and then you would check to see who the reporter is, and you would require that the reporter is also in your subset. If he's not, get the previous value and just keep doing that until you get a reporter who's valid. And you would obviously have to just basically be paying, probably through your own contract, to the people who are staked there, and incentivize them to report. And yeah, it would be a super cool way to sort of add Tellor on top of whatever your system you're doing.
Isn't another way you can just make a query type and just have your whitelist, and it's just like, if anyone else reports this value, then dispute it?
That seems like a way to trap a lot of reporters into getting disputed.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be
I mean,
really
you
hard.
could, but you wouldn't. Another reason you wouldn't want to do that is like, if for whatever like, let's say you did it with one address and then, or some subset of addresses, and the people wanted to change their addresses in some way, like you couldn't change that query ID, so you're like sort of stuck like with it. Whereas if it was like a staking requirement in a contract, they could sort of pull out or transfer their ownership. You would assume some way to do that. But yeah, I guess theoretically you could make a query ID that says only Owen can submit for it. Everybody else gets disputed. But I don't know, like I feel like we would have, that's actually an interesting attack surface. Like you could do that as far as like, if you wanted to come after Tellor, like go after people's tip listeners, see if they're validating it. Because you could like say like, only my reporter address is valid, and then just give it a crazy high tip. and then hopefully somebody else submits for it and you could dispute them and take their stake. Of course you would be paying 2% to the Tellor contract to do that, through the tip. So little disincentive, I don't know. It would be an interesting game. Somebody should go for it. Brenda, it's like, no, please don't. All right. That sounds good, guys. So, anything else, Orion?
Yeah, he did follow up and ask, can a feed be updated multiple times in consecutive blocks? I'm thinking of a DOS scenario.
Yeah, I mean, this would be like if you wanted to just prevent any of those guys from submitting, any of your whitelisted people, you could just submit every block on Tellor. Theoretically, it could. I mean, that could happen in normal Tellor. You could just submit all the time. But like, yeah, in that scenario, like basically if you're willing to submit with say a $50 gas price, the person DOSing you would need to do a $50 gas price every block going forward. So like, you could just up it to $100 gas price, and to DOS you, he would have to do $100 per block in gas every single block going forward. Yeah.
They would have to have like $1 million worth of TRB staked also.
Yeah. It would be, you'd need such a crazy high stake. So, and I mean, so like theoretically you could DOS it for a few blocks in a few seconds, but you shouldn't be reading values that are 5 seconds old anyway. So I'm not too worried about it.
Cool.
Another thing. We're doing that fun competition on the 20th, the Twitter contest. If you guys could participate, that would be super cool.
We'll post it in the link. We'll post it in the tweet or dev call chat. So
Tim and I are gonna put in like, I don't know, 200, 250 bucks. It's basically like if you don't tweet during like 30 days, and your stake gets given to other people. Anyway.
Yeah. 250 bucks is like the main prize or what?
No, it's like, so everyone stakes in the beginning, right? And then if you break your tweeting streak, then like your funds are going to everyone else who maintains theirs.
Is there a minimum that people have to stake?
Yeah, it's a fixed amount, same amount for everyone.
So it's 250 for everybody.
Well, it's like whatever. It can be anything.
But you haven't decided yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does 250 sound like too much?
He's asking right there.
And are you staking ETH or TRB?
Either Matic or USDC on Matic.
Okay.
Cool.
Put to a vote.
You guys are
down. Well, thanks, guys. Hold on one.